Welcome to Korea. Okay, so I thought today it might be kind of nice to share some things with you about my South Korean home that are different than my home or other homes in the US. So because there's a lot of interesting things about South Korean homes. Now this is going to be, there's a caveat with that being that I'm using general statements. That doesn't mean that there are not homes in Korea that don't have some of these things that you have in the US. That doesn't mean that homes in America don't have some of the things I'm going to mention too. But I still thought these things might be interesting for you guys. So let's get started with the first thing in my kitchen. Okay, so the first thing that's interesting about South Korean homes that you will notice is, do you see it? Or better yet, do you not see it? There's no oven. You heard me. Now that doesn't mean that it's impossible to find an oven in Korea anywhere, but it's not typical in Korean homes, and let me explain. Now you need to remember that with Korean food is traditionally not baked, so there isn't really any reason for homes in Korea to come standard with an oven. Now, I'm not saying, and the reason I keep saying, I'm not saying that it's impossible, because you'd be surprised at things I get in my comment section. So don't leave a comment and say, well, I live in South Korea in my apartment, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know, but most homes in Korea don't come with one because it's unnecessary. There are new homes in Korea being built that are more westernized, so some of them will come with an oven. But again, it's in America, baking is a huge part of our culture. So, everything from casseroles to muffins, cookies, right? But in Korea, those are not things that they cook here. So there's really no need to have one. So it kind of would take up space in the home. So it's an unnecessary thing. But I do have a portable one that was given to me by one of my Korean friends. And to be honest, in the 6 years I've lived in Korea, I've used it one time. But I'm not getting rid of it because I keep thinking I'm going to make cookies, and eventually I probably will. Okay, so here's the second thing that's different about my Korean home. Do you see it? Or better yet, do you not see it? Again, there's no dishwasher. Now, again, I have seen a couple of newer homes in South Korea that have a dishwasher, but again, I feel like it's kind of like in Europe. There's certain things in Korea that we don't have that's I feel like maybe it's more a US thing or a North America thing. I don't know, but dishwashers are not a common thing in South Korea either. I don't actually have any working theory on why this is. I don't know why, but I actually was given, again, a portable one, but it's not even here because I don't really have any space for it because it kind of sits on the counter, and it's only pretty much good for like washing cups and small bowls. I have heard that using a dishwasher saves on water. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but you guys, I hate washing dishes so much, so I really need to find a spot for that. But I actually have a friend here in Korea who has a dishwasher in his high-rise apartment here in South Korea. And do you know what he uses it for? He stores clean dishes in it. It's like extra storage. Yeah, he doesn't use it for washing the dishes. Seems like such a waste that he gets one and I don't. Okay, the other thing that I'm not going to actually show you inside my sink because my husband left dishes in the sink and his snacks dishes, so I don't want to show you how dirty my sink is. But you guys, also in the US, dishwashers, garbage disposals are really common. But in South Korean homes, they don't have garbage disposals. And you guys, if you're watching from other countries, leave me a comment and let me know if any of those things that I'm talking about, again, because I'm comparing life in America homes versus life in Korean homes. So I'm interested to hear about if any of these things you guys have in your home country or not. That would be interesting to share. But with the garbage disposals, I don't even know what other countries use garbage disposals, but they're pretty common in the US. I think a big reason that they're not common here in Korea is for two big reasons. One, in South Korea, you cannot throw your food garbage away. Everything in Korea has to be recycled and food has to be composted, and it is the law. And I will make a separate video on the recycling in South Korea, but I will incorporate a little snippet in here in a minute. But since food has to be composted, it can't be thrown away.
that would be, I think, a little more challenging. And also, I believe in the US, when we use garbage disposals and the food gets broken up into small pieces, it gets flushed down into the pipes, into the main city septic system, I think. But in Korea, especially in these high-rise apartment buildings, Korea is an old country with an old infrastructure. That doesn't mean old. I don't mean not innovative. I just mean it's been around a long time. And there's a lot of these older buildings. And so it doesn't appear to me that a lot of homes in Korea, high-rise apartments, a lot of them are not connected to a main city septic system. A lot of them, I've even seen in high-rise apartments where there's a septic truck that comes and cleans the septic tanks out for not the huge high-rise apartments. I haven't seen that, but some of the smaller ones. So it would not go into a main water system or main septic system. So it would be another inconvenient type of thing. So in Korea, we compost it, which, is another thing I'll tell you about.
Now, another big difference you should have already guessed, if you didn't think about it, are these guys, the plugs. See, they're quite different than they are in the US. Our plugs in Korea are these 2-prong guys. And I'll tell you, if you come to Korea on vacation or to move here and you want to bring some of your American appliances with you, I will tell you, you really should get one of these guys. One of these like inverter things, because Korea has, I always get confused. Korea has either a higher voltage or wattage. I don't remember which one it is. Maybe it's voltage since it says volts there. I don't know. But if you try to plug your American appliances just with a little adapter, you will fry your appliance. I have made that mistake. Now you can use a small adapter for like your cell phones or even your laptops. That's never been a problem. But for appliances, this one is actually from America. One of my followers and viewers bought this from my Amazon wish list and sent it to me here in Korea. So it's an American one. And so I just plug it in here so that it changes the voltage so that I don't fry my machine. Because that is an expensive mistake to make. Okay, I'm gonna show you something else out here in my laundry room. Now you see this is a clothes dryer, but I'm gonna tell you, this is one of my other things I wanna talk about, because in South Korea, they rarely use clothes dryers.
I shouldn't say rarely. It's very uncommon. Kind of like in Europe, clothes dryers are really not a thing. It's same in Korea. In fact, if you see here, in South Korea, we pretty much always hang our clothes up to dry, but I'll tell you guys, that is the only thing, and I mean the only thing I can truly think of that I really missed about America, about living in America, because I haven't been homesick other than family. There's nothing in America I truly miss except for the clothes dryer, because I live in the hottest city in South Korea. When you guys hang your clothes up to dry, y'all, first of all, we know that towels are as hard as sandpaper and your jeans are like plywood. You know I'm right. There is nothing comfortable about either one of those when you let them air dry. But the other problem too is that with the heat and humidity or the cold in Korea, depending on the season, it takes 2 days for your clothes to dry, because in the summer when it's hot and humid, it takes forever for your clothes to dry because it's too humid for the water on your clothes to evaporate. So it takes forever for your clothes to dry. And 2, in the wintertime, it's so cold and dry that your clothes still can't dry. So I will tell you, my husband's boss bought that for our wedding anniversary as a way for me to feel more at home here in Korea. And let me tell you, I've never been so grateful, because I went 5 years in Korea without one. And I'll tell you, listen, I love it, almost everything about Korea, but that was one thing I just could not stand. So I'm so grateful I have a clothes dryer again. It's worth the investment, because they are expensive in Korea. Most technology is expensive in Korea, including that. Even though LG and Samsung are made in Korea, LG and Samsung are still often more expensive in Korea than they are in the US. That's another topic for discussion.
Hey, something else I want to show you guys is actually out here. In Korea, it's pretty common for people to have a closed veranda. The verandas are usually where we have, like in my other small apartment that I lived in for forever, a little studio, The veranda is where the washing machine actually was, but they're usually closed. They're not like balconies in the US where we sit out here and like have coffee or what have you. This is usually a closed area that's functional. So like this one is actually really big in this apartment, another place to hang your clothes. But what I wanted to show you is this one actually has a faucet and a drain. And if you see here, there's an actual, it goes down here. And that's because since a lot of people in Korea live in high-rise apartments, and Koreans do love things like their plants or other things, we don't have ways to like water them down. So there's a faucet here, and this is so that the water all stays down here. All of this can get soaking wet, not a problem, because there's a drain. This area, however, cannot, because this is actual wood, though we have a covering on it right now. I don't want to talk about what's under there.
Okay, another thing I want to talk about is, where's my hand? This. In Korea, the floors are often hardwood floors because our floors are heated. The heating system in South Korea is, we have heated floors. So we don't have, again, I've never even seen or heard of any place in Korea that has central air. That doesn't mean they don't, but I've never once heard or seen anything of it because South Korea has used heated floors as their heating system in their home for like 1,000 years. So you know the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah. So, but the challenge with that, so like carpeting in Korea, if you want carpeting in your apartment, I'm sure you can find a way to get it, but it's going to be expensive because you can't have the carpeting when your floors are heated, and that's how you heat your system, your whole house. The only downside to that though is that sound. Koreans are very sensitive about sound in their apartments. And so having a, it's pretty, you can hear a lot of the walking, kids running around, things like that. So often Koreans will buy buy rugs or like child mats for the floors, so that when you walk around on it, it kind of cushions it a little bit. But otherwise the floors are hard. I'm not a big fan of the heated floors, but my reason has nothing to do with you guys. It just hurts my feet, just in my back, because I've had surgeries on my back. So I just wear slippers in the house like most Koreans do, and it's not a problem. Okay, so that is it for this video. But if you're interested in learning more about the differences between Korean homes, Korean life versus US, please drop a comment, let me know so I can make this into a series. You guys, please don't forget to subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!